Welcome you in a very special way to today's edition, today's episode of Talking Points with Ronye Radio Talk Show on Nightingale Radio. This is how we do it every Tuesday from 4 p.m. to Mama Calls. And you're live on Nightingale Radio, by the way. So if you're listening alone, I want you to invite everyone to come around. Tell people, tell someone to tell another person that will tell another person, and that will tell yet another person to go on Google Play Store with their Android device and download Nightingale Radio app from Google Play Store. Is the NDIDGHTINGALE radio on Google Play Store. And once you have the app on your device, you can listen to us anytime from anywhere. My name is Mary Ozuroye Avola Roye, the Radio Diva. Some choose to call me the Top Goddess, and some call me the Media Nurse. But whatever you want to call me, just remember that I am Roye. I'm not doing this show alone today. I have my co-host. FK is becoming a regular voice on this show, and really, it's always exciting to have her in the studio on Tuesday evenings like this. So, FK in the building, drum rolling. FK, what's up with you? How are you doing today?
Good evening, listeners, and welcome to another exciting episode of Talking Points with Ronye Radio Talk Show on Nightingale Radio.
FK, are you fearing to talk? Because I don't understand. Why are you talking like somebody that is
And
gentle?
it feels so good to be here once again. Good evening.
Of course, it feels so good to always have you around. It's so good to have you around. Thank you very much for joining us. Today is a special episode. Today is a special episode because today we are commemorating the World Mental Health Day. Today being the 10th of October 2023, and every 10th of October is World Mental Health Day, and everyone is talking about mental health. It can never be overemphasized. So we are Talking Points with Royal Radio Talk Show and the entire Nightingale Radio crew are also lending our own voices to create more awareness for mental health in our society. And like you all know, mental health has become something of great concern, especially among young people in this generation. Not even only among young people, even adults, male, female, whatever your age, mental health is a thing of concern. So we're going to be talking extensively about mental health. We'll be talking extensively on how people can boost their mental health, how people can maintain a stable mental health, and the need for you to really take good care of yourself mentally, because people are used to paying more attention to their physical health, and then they tend to neglect their mental health. Some people going through some mental downturn, mental issues here and there. Some are ignorant of it. Some don't even know that they are experiencing that. They feel they are still living life. Why some know, but they are too afraid or shy to seek help. So, FK, these and many more are the things we'll be discussing today on the show, on today's episode of Talking Points with Royal Radio Talk Show. So, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Always
Okay,
ready.
of course, you are always ready. So, people, if you're just joining us, I would like you to consider today's episode like a motivational episode, so to speak. When I was preparing content for today's show, I saw it as something that would motivate people, to be able to cope with whatever life issues they might be having. So I want us to make it as motivational as possible. All right, before we dig into today's discussion proper, I would like to say express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone who checked on me last week. We couldn't run the show last week Tuesday. Thank you for calling. Thanks for the messages. Like, the love was massive. Like, faithful Talking Points with Royal Radio Talk Show listeners on Tuesdays noticed that the show did not run. They didn't see my update. They didn't see my broadcast, and they are like, Royal, what's up? People sent in messages. Actually, I went to cover an event. So I was not around for like 5 to 6 days, and it was really crazy. I was in the ancient city of Ile-Ife in Osun State to cover the media, to run the media coverage and commentaries for the Olojo Festival. And for people who know Olojo Festival very well, Olojo Festival is a very popular festival in the history of Yoruba land in Ile-Ife, and it's something really huge. So Olojo Festival spanned through 5 days, and myself and my media crew were there till the end of it. So if you check my social media handles, there are some updates there and there, and I still have some videos I'm going to post on my YouTube. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ronya Radio Diva TV, and I'll be posting some more things about Olojo Festival. The reason why I actually played that song Pick Up by Adekunle Gold, èmi náà fẹ́ wá Bentley, èmi náà fẹ́ lo range, èmi náà fẹ́ marry, èmi náà fẹ́ this. People have a lot of wants, needs. People want so many things, actually, all the luxuries of life, all the good things of life. And when it gets to a particular point where it looks as if those things are not forthcoming, they start losing, they start being discouraged, and depression sets in and all that. So, what can you say, FK, about the insatiable needs of human beings? What can you say about the fact that young people today want to achieve a lot in a short while, and when it's not forthcoming, they can't hold it in anymore?
Well, it's not something that is why it's insatiable here, because it can need for a reason. It cannot always be satisfied. So, and it is a common thing for young ones to actually have wants, to have not even needs now, wants. They want a lot of things and they don't seem to get it, and they begin to feel deep. I feel this is just human for you to start feeling bad if you're not able to get something. So it is left to you to know, okay, this is how I want to handle it, how I want to manage it.
Okay, so it is normal for people to want those things.
Yes, it is.
It is now left for them to undo it well if it is not forthcoming. But if you want some things, and the route at which you are following to achieve it is not even right,
Right.
and yet you are feeling bad that that thing did not come to you. I mean,
Human beings.
it's somehow, mental health comes in various ways. People get down with mental health issues, mental breakdown, because of so many reasons. I have had my own fair share of depression some years ago, and I'll just share a bit of my story. Speaking of the reasons why people get down with mental health issues and mental breakdown, psychological breakdown. I remember some years back, in my former platform, the radio station I was managing back then. I remember the day we suddenly went to the studio and the studio was on fire. So I watched myself and my presenters, my team. I watched the studio burn
Oh my God.
from the beginning to the
end.
end,
That's
and we lost we lost a lot of equipment worth millions of naira, with the fact that the building was also damaged to an extent and everything. So it was traumatizing. I'm trying to explain the various levels of mental,
Yeah,
because
the depth.
there are sometimes people think mental health, when they hear mental health, the first thing that comes to their mind is a madman roaming about the street.
Right.
It is not until somebody
Wrong
is
man.
it's not until somebody runs mad, like
Mhm.
mad, and you're walking on the streets naked and or in rags, and
Right.
you are eating from the dustbin or something. That is not the only level to mental health, and that's only is what we can call the advanced stage of it.
Yes, the peak.
You
That's
get
the peak.
like it has gone out of hand. Yeah. But there are some subtle things that happen in our lives on day to day, and these things are actually signs of mental health issues that we don't even know that we are already in it. Then I never knew the extent at which that incident was traumatizing to me until I started having PTSD. I don't know if you know what PTSD.
I know.
PTSD is also, yes.
Disorder, yeah.
PTSD is also a mental issue. PTSD means post traumatic stress disorder. PTSD, it comes as a result of a trauma. A traumatizing experience you must have had,
Yeah.
and it's the traumatizing
Haunting you
experience
now,
it's haunting you.
coming back.
Then it has an imprint in your mind,
Yeah,
and
right.
for I'm telling you, FK, for weeks, for months, I couldn't sleep well, and worst off, I was living alone. So yeah, I lived alone then, so it made it even worse because there was no shoulder to cry on. There was no one to really share that experience. So I bottled a lot of things up. Aside the fact that I was being haunted in my mind with the sights of fire,
And you saw them.
that was the first time I would really see fire burn, And then I now remember again that I had such PTSD as a child, not really as a child. I was grown too, but not as grown
age,
as now.
yeah.
Yeah, I was wise enough. Then I lived in Ile-Ife,
Okay.
and I experienced the Ile-Ife and Modakeke crisis.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure you weren't born then.
No, I wasn't. I've read it in history.
You heard it in history now. You are seeing someone who actually experienced it.
Okay, radio diva.
I didn't hear it in history.
You witnessed it.
I witnessed it. I was living in Ife at that time. But I wouldn't know that I had PTSD then because I didn't know what PTSD was. So now that I'm of age, I now experience something that gave me that gave me a flashback that okay, when I was growing up and we had this traumatizing experience of always having to lock ourselves up in the house. We couldn't go to school for almost a year because of the war. Yeah, we couldn't go to school, we couldn't go to church, we couldn't go to markets, businesses couldn't open, and when we eventually resumed back to school, before we went out of school during the war, there was a day that the last time we went to school that year, there was a day the crisis suddenly started in the afternoon. We were running helter-skelter in the school compound. Our teachers had to make us lie down flat. That was my first experience of knowing that when they are shooting gun,
you lie.
You have to lie.
Yeah.
Later I watched it in movies and I remember that I have actually been in this shit before.
God.
Yeah, sincerely. It's quite traumatizing. We have to lie down and we'll be hearing gunshot, like close range gunshots with the bullets
flying over your head,
running through our school roof.
Oh my god.
It was that bad.
Oh my god.
So you can imagine that traumatizing. So for years that haunted me, but I didn't know what it meant. Now that I now experience, some years ago that I now experienced the studio fire and everything, that was when, of course, I was already a nurse in media, so I understood what PTSD was. I understood what depression was. I understood everything I was going through. And when that site haunted me for months, I had to talk to someone. And I had to seek help, not necessarily from even a professional. I just had to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Because I felt, okay, I think if I pour out my mind to someone, I will feel lighter
better, yes.
And I'll be able to get over it. So I'm just sharing this personal experience. There's so many other personal experiences. I won't lie to you. In this our small life, I have seen
a lot.
Me especially, my eyes have seen something. Me that I saw my studio, not necessarily my studio, but a studio. I was the manager of that studio. I saw it burn. And it was like your source of livelihood is being taken away from you.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Your source of livelihood is being taken away from you in your presence like this, and there's nothing you could do about it. And you know how messed up